Hello friends, I thought that I would film outdoors today because I've been spending a lot of time in my garden cleaning up all the winter die-off, and the yard waste, and taking it out for my trash. It's a little windy today, so I hope that wind doesn't interfere with my video. In any case, I did finish with my yard cleanup, getting ready for the garden tour that I've mentioned before that my house will be on this coming June. So today you can see up here this arch, and I'm going to take you through putting up that arch and how I'm going to decorate it as a special feature in my garden for the tour. And I thought you might enjoy seeing how I did it. So let's go ahead and start on this project. If you look off in the distance, you can see that my garden is still a mess after the winter. But today I spent an hour assembling this arch that you can see here, which I'm going to decorate. There were 32 pieces altogether to put together, and lots of screws and muscle power to get this put together. And I have attached it to my fence with these straps that I spray painted black. They came in a silver color. And so now I've spent, another 45 minutes getting it into the soil here to hold it in place, as well as these straps that I mentioned. It seems to be very sturdy. We'll move on to step number 2 to create this entryway to my garden. As I've been cleaning up my yard and trimming things back this spring, I have been collecting this stack of branches and twigs and so on, which I plan to use to turn my arbor into a rather rustic looking sort of gate in and out of my garden. So I'm using this florist wire. It's a little difficult to see, but I'm going to wrap it around this trunk and tie it off. Right here, I want to get it as close to the frame as I can. And I'm starting in the middle of this tree trunk in order to keep it from tipping over as I work. So there it is, pretty darn close. We'll take another piece of wire and work down here lower on the branch. In order to make it quite secure, I'm going to put one down here very low on this tree trunk. And this way, it's a little bit wonky, but we still have more to do higher up. Now, to demonstrate a different technique, here is a zip tie that I'm going to be utilizing to attach this narrower branch to my frame, my metal frame here. Of course, you all know how to use zip ties. And then I'll just trim off the excess here. And there we are, it's attached. But we need to work our way down the post in order to get it closely placed here the way I would like it to be. We'll move down here to the bottom of the post and stretch it, and stretch it around this branch. Here's a little trick that you might be interested in. Neither of these lengths of zip ties are long enough to stretch around the frame and my branch. So I'm going to connect them. So I've just connected them a small amount on the two zip ties, and I'm going to bring it around and attach it this way. Isn't that cool? It's a quick, easy way to extend the length of your zip ties. Another tip I can offer you is if you have a very short piece of your zip tie left on which to grip and pull, just grab a pair of pliers so that you can get a good grip and pull it as tight as possible to make it really do its job. As you watch me piece these branches and twigs together, and using mostly the zip ties to attach these pieces of wood to my metal frame, I'm going to speed up the video so that you can see how I do it. And honestly, it was like putting a puzzle together. I would go to my pile of branches and twigs and pick out something that I thought would work in a particular area, and then I would go ahead and complete the attachment to it with zip ties. So enjoy some music while I go through this process. Now, as you can tell, this is a rather slow process that requires, piecing the branches and twigs together, and also putting on the zip ties. It was fairly time consuming, but that's okay. And I found out near the end of this second day that I was working, you can tell I have a different top on, but the second day, I ran out of zip ties, and I'm going to have to run to Walmart to buy more and complete the project. I have some more parts to it that I'm going to be adding and want to share with you. So let's go ahead and finish up what I started on Sunday. So guys, what I did is I went to my local thrift stores. I bought 4 of these grapevine wreaths, and so far I have untwisted one of the wreaths, and what I'm doing is wrapping it around the twigs that are in my arch. So I have more to do, going all the way around this side. And let's get started on completing this job. When you're trying to unwind a grapevine wreath, the trick is to find these pieces that cross over and are wrapped around the wreath. You need to find the one that is the end, or you might say the beginning of it. And this one is tucked in right here. So I have to get it out. You see I've released that one, and then I'm just going to twist it around the wreath to release all of the vines that are in the circle which makes up the wreath. It's really not difficult, but can be kind of messy. So I recommend, if you do this kind of a project, that you do it outdoors. So now that part of the wreath is all untwisted and unwound, and I have this long piece left over. I'm going to set it aside for now. And then we need to find a beginning of the wreath so we can start unwinding it. So just pulling it apart in this way. Some parts do get stuck, and you have to use a little muscle power to release these parts of the vine. There we go. So you can see I have gotten it untwisted. There's the beginning of how I will place this on my arch. I'm not sure if you can see it, it's a little dark here, but this is where I ended the last wreath that I began with. So that's where I'll start with wreath number 2. Now, when I went to Walmart to buy more zip ties the other day, I got a pack of 11-inch long zip ties, which enables me to reach around these bundles of grapevines as I attach them. As you can see over here, I have this purple planter that I am going to be putting some vines in to grow up and across the arch. And since the Colorado Springs garden tour that my yard will be on this summer in June. It's actually at the end of June, so I do have some time to plant a vine down here in this soil next to the arch, and have, I hope, some vines coming up and across. Now, this area gets very little sun just at high noon. The rest of the time it's in shade, so I'm going to have to be very selective of exactly how much or what type of plant I purchase to plant in this area. It's a difficult gardening spot, I have to say, but I'm very pleased with how my arch turned out. I'm very happy, and I hope you like it too. Let me know in the comments if you think this arch turned out as well as I hoped. So thank you very much for sticking with me as I completed this project. And I want to say thank you for subscribing if you have chosen to do that, and a thumbs up would be greatly appreciated. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend, and I hope to see you again very soon. This is Mary saying bye for now.